We're about to try to do a thing. Can you make me look good? Can you make me look good? I can't make you look good right now on camera. But let's hope you can make me look good. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That looks good.
You ugly. You ugly.
So today I'm probably at about I'd say a solid 7. So he'll make me a 10. That's how this works. Thank you. Second look. Sun's about to go down and he's gonna kill me if I don't hurry up. So let's do this. This just turned out so good! Yes! Who needs photographers when you have friends? I mean, I'm just kidding. But you ain't got friends like that though. So don't try this at home, people. No.
Wait till you see like your ad for the night.
I'm excited. I found it's the working woman! I literally can't take these pulls anywhere. I cannot take them anywhere.
Oh my god. I can just imagine
Nowhere.
Oh shit.
Or then like you take the shoe and you're like, oh no, I don't need myself.
Thank you. Oh my god, I'm sweating.
You can't breathe.
Stop.
Can't take these fools nowhere.
I'm gonna finish drinking my extra
Lemony.
no chocolatey.
Oh, chocolatey milkshake.
Chocolate chunks and the sprinkles.
That's whole 30 talk for all y'all that don't know what's going on. Hey y'all. So here we are. It's actually Monday, but it's alright, it doesn't matter. These cars are real loud. So this weekend I attended a soul school event. All I have to say is wow.
And if you listen to the podcast, you've learned this too, that when we're in an emotional kind of release, we don't need to know what it is. We just need to let it go. We don't need to go, what am I processing? What old wound is this? We don't need to judge it. We don't need to analyze it. We don't need to ask, when is this going to be over? What does this mean about me? That's, I think, what keeps us in the recycling of feelings and in the loop. And so many times, anxiety and fear and all those things is just because we've been suppressing our feelings. We've been suppressing what we've been taking on, not just our stuff, but other people. And so you're all light workers, you're all conscious, you know, if you're in soul school, we're all part of the same tribe of the up-leveling of consciousness. And in order for those, like that up-leveling to occur, sometimes there's those growing pains.
It's not time, oh no, he's too this, he's too eccentric. I had so many reasons why I couldn't and shouldn't. But my body was like, move in. That's why when we hung out almost every day for 30 days, I could not be around him. My body knew. So you always know what you need. You always know where to go. You always know where to move.
I'm still pretty exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally, but for good reason. So not in the way that's stressful. It's just that when you do the work intensely on yourself and you share and you pour out and you receive and you give and all of those different things surrounding self-improvement and self-empowerment and self-love and self-care, sometimes it's a little tiring and it's a little emotionally draining, and I'm so grateful for it. because it's also life-changing. And so I'm just taking some time today to kind of settle in and process it all and sit with it and be with it. I got home last night from the event and I was extremely emotional and just like very overwhelmed. I'm also a pretty big introvert, so to be stimulated in that way for so long. We were there, and I only made it for one day, mind you. It was actually a 2-day event, a beautiful, beautiful, oh my gosh, I'm probably gonna have to talk about it later because there's just so many things. I need to write it all down. I need to, like I said, process it and sit with it all, but so many things were gained. I can't say thank you enough. First of all, to Miss Alexi Panos and Preston Smiles and their entire team who put on this event. You guys are the most beautiful souls I have ever come in contact with, and I was just grateful to share the space with you guys. Just incredible people. But yeah, just taking time today to process it all and just take it all in. And like I was saying, I was extremely emotional last night and overwhelmed with the outpouring of love. I think so many times as people in this field specifically, and you know, empaths all around the world, we feel a lot. We feel all the time, and we feel so deeply, and it's a beautiful thing because that means we care. But it can also take a lot from you, and I realized from this event that I don't hold space for myself nearly enough, or nearly as much as I should, which should be an everyday process. And I realized that I don't, and I didn't, and I haven't been. And I hold space for a lot of people and a lot of things, and it's a beautiful thing, and I love it, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. But yesterday, after being there and standing firm in who I was and holding that space for myself for what felt like the first time in so long in such a powerful way, it was a lot. It was overwhelming in an amazing way. And I'm just so, I don't think I could say enough how, the level of gratitude that I have for the beautiful people that I met yesterday, and I can't wait to continue to be in contact with. But it was just so crazy because, of course, when you start to talk about something, you are challenged with it yourself, and that absolutely happened to me this week through yesterday. This past week on my Instagram stories, I started talking about our egos and what they do and how they control so many of our lives, and how we don't recognize as people the complexities of our egos and how they just run stuff, and how we need to figure out how to get them in check and talk to them and put them to the side and put them to the back, and let you run the show, not let your ego run the show. And I talked about how so many of us don't understand, including myself, and how I've struggled with it, and how it was a really difficult realization for me to come to when I had to say, oh, that's your ego. And that was a punch to my ego because I was always the person who, you know, and I still do, you care so much that you take on everyone else's stuff, and you end up burdened with things, and you don't know how to shake it, and you can't get over it. And or am still things that I deal with, the person who if there's something that was disappointing that I did and someone shared that with me, oh, you could take me out the game for a week. I didn't know how I was gonna return from that. God forbid I be a disappointment, right? In one way or another. And coming to terms with, we all disappoint at times. Your partner, your parents, your siblings, for parents, your kids. it's a really difficult thing to come to terms with. And then yourself, sometimes you do things that you're like, I shouldn't have done that, and it's a little disappointing. Perfectionism, something that I struggle with a lot. Ego, all ego, because who you're trying to look perfect for? To impress who? That's your ego talking. That's your ego running the show. Me caring so much about other people and not holding that space for myself and not standing firm in who I am because I want to be liked, or I want to please other people, or I want to do these things that won't make me look bad. Ego. And I think a lot of times we think of ego as just being like, oh, you're egotistical and you're all about you, and I thought to myself, I care so much about other people, there's no way I could be being led by my ego. Wrong. It's not just this linear thing that we think it is. And I spoke about that this week, and then I was met with that exact challenge yesterday. All through the day, all day. My ego was like, don't share, don't talk. Keep this to yourself. Don't ask that question. No, people are going to be looking at you. No, people might think that you're doing it for this reason. No, people might. All of these different things, ego. And I had to shut them down every single time. And I'm really proud of myself because I did. And I didn't let my ego win. And one of the exercises that we did at the very end of the day was we got these rocks, and we wrote on them what we want to release, and what whatever is not serving us and whatever is stopping us from reaching our highest potential, whatever is that blockage. We wrote it down, then we threw it in the ocean, and I wrote ego on there and I threw it out. And I am making a conscious effort every single minute of every single day to not let my ego speak for me, because it's so loud. It is noticed first, and it speaks louder than anything you could ever have to say. And I'm so glad that I was able to attend this event, and I want to write about it because I don't think there's enough time or space in video for me to really get all of my thoughts out. So I'm going to be writing about it this week and sharing it, probably in a blog. So look out for that. But there's just so much. It was oh my gosh, I can't even begin to describe the amount of insights that I got, the amount of self-realizations that I received, and the tools that I received to just continue to better myself and those around me, and to help others realize their potential, to help me realize my potential, to help me realize that it's okay to shine brightly. And I realized that there was space for me. That was one of my biggest takeaways, and I shared this with the group, was that so often it's easy to think that there's no room for you because what you're doing somebody else has already done, or whatever the case may be. Ego. But I shared with the group that I can't hide behind the label of humility anymore to not shine and do what I know I'm called to do, because that's doing a disservice to people I've probably never even met, and it's doing a disservice, more importantly, to myself, and it's doing a disservice to God, and it's stepping on what He has given me and what He's given you to do. If you hide behind that label of humility to think that, oh no, I don't want to do this because people might think A, B, and C, who cares? And listen, this is something that I'm still growing through. This is something that I'm still working through. This is something that I'm met with every single day. But I'm doing the work, and we can do the work together. And we can uplift each other together. And we can kick and scream together when it gets hard. And I'm just so thankful. This is kind of rambly, but I think the biggest thing I just want to get across is that I'm just filled with so much gratitude and so much life. And just very full, and I'm so proud of myself for holding firm in my space yesterday, and for being that container for myself, because so often we think we're gonna have this container for everything else and everybody else's stuff, and we build that and we build that and we build that, and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, how am I gonna hold all your stuff if mine is still running over? You can't. So I learned so much, and again, I'm going to be writing about it because there's just too much to possibly talk about in a video. But you should check out Soul School. I think they only do open enrollment maybe twice a year. So the next time around, stay updated if you know you want to just self-care, self-development, self-empowerment, figuring out how to just shine as bright as you can and go out into the world and really be that light. And, you know, taking your faith with you as a grounding space always, and making sure that you're holding that space for yourself first before you try to hold it for anybody else.